Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here and you don't know me, well, hi, I'm Cass, also known as Cash Champ. Basically today we are going to be doing my June book wrap up, which means I am going to be telling you guys how my month went reading wise and during June, and then I'm also going to be planning books that I'm wanting to read for in July. So in July I will be going on vacation. When I go on a vacation, we do road trips. We don't go by plane, we like to drive. Well, my dad drives, and so I have so much time in the car to just read if I want to and all that jazz. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, before we talk about anything, let's make sure to hydrate. Okay, I hope you have some sunscreen, a cozy snack, and some water as well, because it's really hot. I'm currently filming this like end of June, so like it is hot outside. I'm like, whoa, cheers. My water's really cold. It's almost like done, and there's full of ice in the bottom. I was like, brain freeze. Anywho, we have our cozy drink, which, well, cozy cool drink, which is water. As I showed you guys in my June TBR video, I had a couple of books that my first read of the month, which is Why Am I Like This by 𝐯𝐢𝐝𝐿. I have been mentioning this in a couple of my like videos. I had this book in my May TBR and I did not read it. I had this book also in my June TBR, and you might be like, Cass, did you read it? Did you read it? I did read a little bit of this book up to chapter 1, and I'm at chapter 2, and I haven't read since beginning of June, mostly because I've been just in the mood to read fiction. With that being said, me not reading this book does not mean that I'm not liking it. It's just taking more time because it requires more of my brain power. But so far, going through chapter 1, like, I love it so much. It talks about, like, if you guys don't know, Why Am I Like This by 𝐯𝐢𝐝𝐿 touches based on anxiety, depression, and mental health, and there's a lot of different statistics and like information given, and I really am enjoying it so far. And there's like I want to say 300 and something pages. Yeah, 320 pages, and I've been really enjoying chapter 1 in the prologue so far. It's been like so amazing. And yeah, so that was in my June TBR, and I'm so happy that I started it. And although I say that I'm gonna keep on having this book in my like reading TBRs, I might not be reading this in July, but who knows, I'll still be, but who knows. So moving on to my other book that I read after this one, which is Unsteady by Peyton Corinne, a novel. And oh, I have so much to say, but like no words at the same time for this book. It's like, I felt like, I don't want to be dramatic, but like I felt, obviously when you read, you can feel transported and into a new world, and I really was transported, and I like got attached to every single character. It kind of reminds me a little bit, I've seen like people talk about like it's so different but also kind of similar in a way of with the book Binding 13, I believe, and I kind of do see this similarity, but it's also its own book, and I really enjoy that. And I believe there is another book in this series. There's like another one following the two best friends of the two main characters, I believe, called Unloved or something like that. So I might like get that other one, like I don't know when, for maybe fall, no clue. But I really enjoyed, this book was based around a figure skater and a hockey player. Something traumatic happens to this hockey player in the beginning, and I believe I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed just the story, the ending. I'm trying to be real. Why am I not remembering this? Okay, I am mostly not remembering this ending because I read it so early in the month of June, and also the books that I'm reading right now are preoccupying my mind. So yeah, 4 stars for this one. And then after Unsteady, what did I read? The week of like June 17th or something like that. I did not read a lot because I got sick, which was not fun. I had not been sick in 5 years. It was not fun. I'm gonna spare you guys the details. However, a couple of days ago, I was picking up every night this book, Powerless by Lauren Roberts. It is so good. Like, I read this book in not even 2 days. Like, I stayed up really late. I don't remember when, but I read this book so quickly. But I started it slowly. I would like I said, I didn't read a lot the week of the 17th, but before going to bed I picked up this book a little bit, read a little bit, then stopped reading, and then the next night I read so much, and I read like in 3 days or 2, not even, this book was finished. And I then moved on to reading 𝐟𝐫𝐸, which is the second book in this trilogy, by the way, if you guys didn't know. And I'm not reading it with my eyes, I'm listening to it on Audible because I don't have the physical copy with me, and although I have a Kindle, it's not on Kindle Unlimited, and I had like credits to use on Audible. Anyhow, I'm currently still reading 𝐟𝐵𝐸, and I have like 2 hours left to the book, and I'm really like, I want to know what happens. But this book is a 5 stars. Like, I have not had a 5-star read in so long, I think, but I'm still in it, and I know that obviously I still remember the characters, but I just know a year from now I'm still gonna remember the characters, the story, and like, although I'm not finished with the series, it's hyped up. I'm sure you've seen it being hyped up on everywhere, TikTok and all that jazz. And if you're unsure of picking this up, it really is worth picking up because I love it. So yeah. And then last but not least, in my June TBR I had is Book Lovers Now. I'm still reading this. I actually picked this book up yesterday night because I just finished Powerless and I started 𝐟𝐵𝐸, and I was like, you know what, I'm so close to having almost every book in my June TBR being read, and it's still June. There's like 5 days left. I just know that I'll be able to finish this within 5 days. I am really loving this book so far, although I have not finished it yet. I just know that Emily Henry, I think I've mentioned this in past videos, but I read like 3 summers ago, I believe, her book People We Meet on Vacation, and I barely remember it because again it was 3 years ago, but I do remember loving the way she writes, and so far I'm really loving the way she writes as well. Like, I've been catching myself like highlighting so much already, and I'm only at page 50, so I'm not even halfway through the book, and I'm really loving it. And it takes place during summertime. It says 1 summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming, and it's about like 2 people in the world of like books and writing and editing and all of that, like writing a book, like they know what goes into all of that. And that's all I have for now to give you guys and of my thoughts. I really love it, and I don't know how many I feel like if I can predict how many stars this will be, I'm like maybe 4 stars, maybe 3.5. I don't know. I will only know though after I finish reading this book. And so with that being said, I was able to read this book, which this book is 500 pages, so almost 2 books in one. And I started Gemma's book, and I just know that I'll be able to finish this book, and this will be my first time ever being able to say that I read my, oh my god, read my whole TBR for a month almost. I'm gonna read this, okay? I'm really excited to now tell you guys a little bit about my July TBR. Let's drink some water real quick. First up on my July TBR, which, okay, also, I'm gonna be going on vacation. Like I said earlier in the video, I will be having a lot of time on the road, which means a lot of time to read. My goal is to read 4 books again in the month of July. Now, it is okay if I don't read these 4 books, one of these books being a reoccurring one in all of my TBRs, mostly because, like I said, it takes a lot of brain power to read this book that I'm gonna show you guys, but it is Why Am I Like This by Gemma Stiles. This, I really love including this book in all my TBRs, even if I don't finish it. Like, this book, again, it requires more brain power, and just being able to tell myself that it's okay if I don't read it, but it's fun to have it. It makes it exciting, like I've said in my previous videos. So this is one of the books that I'm having in my July TBR. So it counts, but it doesn't really count. And then next up, I am wanting to read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I have been hearing so much about this book, and also just more in specific, the author Lynn Painter. And this book follows I believe Liz and Wes, and I believe it's also during, and that's about it. That's what I know about the book. I'm excited to read it. The book cover is so beautiful. It's a young adult, I believe, rom-com. I'm not sure. I think it's a rom-com, which I'm really excited to get some laughing in. So this is like the second book in my July TBR that I'm adding. And again, for all of these like books in my TBRs, I always want to preface and say it is okay if I don't finish them, and it is okay if you have books that you're wanting to read in a month and you don't them. That is totally okay. There's so many books that I'm gonna also want to read on Audible, which like I said, I am I'm still reading Reckless by Lauren Roberts, and I'm going to be wanting to read the last book in the trilogy, Fearless, I believe. And so that is also going to be kind of in my TBR, but for when I'm in the mood to listen to a book. And so after Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, I also have 2 more books by Emily Henry, which this one is really summer vibes. I've heard everyone say, like, if you're in the summertime beach vibes, read this. So I'm going to be reading Happy Place, and I'm also, again, I'm going to be really diving into Emily Henry. I got these books like in May, and I've been like waiting to read these, but I wanted to read other ones. Like, if you've seen my previous reading vlogs, I was in a book slump. However, we're out of that slump, hopefully, for the month of July, and I have Funny Story by Emily Henry once more. I am not sure if this is a summer read, but I just know I will love it, especially after reading Book Lovers. I just know that I'm gonna be loving and for sure in the mood to read Emily Henry. And so yeah, and I was gonna say, with speaking and going with like not putting pressure to read, not putting pressure on, you know, reading the exact amount of books that you've set in your TBRs. If I don't finish the Book Lovers in like the 5 days that I have left in June, then it will go into the month of July. So technically this Book Lovers might be also in this, so it might be ambitious of me to, the book fell, to have all of these, but I love to read and I like to challenge myself. So with that, I will leave you guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment down below and make sure you let me know which book you're excited for me to read. Again, there's a lot in this pile, which I might not read everything, but thank you for watching this June book wrap up and July TBR, and I'm so excited to continue on having fun. And with that, I will see you guys on the next one. Have an amazing summer. Be prepared for vacation traveling vlogs, okay? And I'll see you guys whenever I see you guys next. Bye! Mwah.